Hey there, Bootzone here. I'm working through some projects and this horrible piece of stuff is a Manrose fan. Don't know what model it is yet, but it's got a shutter on it, which is something that's kind of useful. It's got wires on it, it's got a bit of a wall plug. I'm going to vacuum it first because it's so gross. Found it in a skip, I'm sure. So it's a model CF200T. There you go, a timer. T for timer. It's got a bit of chopped out plastic up here, presumably where the cable entry was made. And I can see on the front it has two plasticky things that are really sore on your fingernails. There we go. I'm just using a blunt screwdriver that's a bit damaged. Just little pop-in plastics. This is still filthy, but well, it's one step closer to being clean. Now it has a fan on one side here, and then it comes out kind of on the other side, so air must come in and go over, which I've not seen before. And I can see that there's a snail fan. You won't see that just yet. You will shortly. A snail fan inside. I'll use a bigger screwdriver. With these pop-ins, that's what I would call them, it's not really designed to be taken apart. Now, there it is. Okay, I've got it safe. So I presume there's two screws in there, which there is. Manrose. So I'm expecting inside to be just as dirty as outside was. That's pretty dirty. Yeah, okay. It's pretty filthy. But does it work? That's the question. Let's get a bit more cleaning done on it while I'm here. It looks like a bathroom fan, but it's pretty grim. So I need a little screwdriver. Will this one do it? I need a wiring diagram as well here, because I've got 3 cables coming in and an earth, which don't help me. And that's the timer. It'll have a switch then timed. So, oh, there it is. Neutral live and switch live. Okay. Let's get this cover off. I can see the screws that were in behind. It should have a cable entry on top. It says it quite clearly up here, cable entry, but that's damaged. Well, no, it's not damaged. What am I talking about? It's not been used. I'll take out these screws that are sticking through. What I think I'm going to do is take it apart, give it a bath, put it back together. This screw is stuck. If I could get it out, that'd be better. There we go. Sometimes the fan pulls off. It's just on a splined shaft. Let's try that. So I don't see any other way of holding it on. Although the motor and fan unit might come out together here. Let's try that. That would be simpler, really. There's a couple of star washers in there as well. Yeah, so that's that loose. So the wiring for that comes from here. I don't believe it makes any difference which way around they go. Well, let's try the thing first, in case it doesn't work. Because if it doesn't work, then it'd be better if we knew that. In fact, I don't know. There's a bit of burning here, a bit of overheating, but overheating under a resistor doesn't look so bad, you know. Let's get some power onto it. Basically what I'm doing here is turning the switch on. So let's try that. Perfect. Okay, let's disconnect this one and then try and disconnect the cables. So even though it's very overheated, maybe the timer doesn't work. I can test that later. I'm not too worried about that. So if I disconnect these two wires here, then I should be able to pull this cable through here, or push it, one or the other. I think it's glued in. Deal with that issue later. Right, so that can all be scraped out and cleaned. It's got tiny spring on that flap there, so gravity would hold it open, if you can see that. Okay, well, I'll just give all this a wash now. This fan motor here, oh, that's a bit crusty. I suspect it should just pull off, but instead of worrying about it, I'll just wash it as it is, and we'll come back when it's clean. Okay, then a couple of days have passed and this thing should have dried out. I can't really remember much about it now. I've got the screws hopefully all together. This goes in here, I guess. So this thing, I've damaged the plastic sheathing there. I'm just not going to worry about it. Let's push that through the hole, the wires. I could test the motor, but I won't. I cleaned it as best I could. It still has like grey on it, whatever you'd call that. Now we've got two machine screws here. I think they're the ones with the stars. Star washers. It's a bit tricky to line it up, but I think I'll manage. I could put a drop of oil on it. It seems like a prudent idea, but I'd only be oiling one end of the bearing, and given that it's spinning so perfectly, I don't know if I'll bother. Right, to get these wires into this sheath here, I think I'm just going to have to try and force them and hope that they go. Might be glued. And then with a little screwdriver, try and ease it up. Yeah, it's glued. If I could push it out of here. Oh. There we go. That's some of it out. This bit, just kind of force it out. I'm not overly worried about this this protection here, but I'll put it back on nonetheless, just because. Yeah, they don't want to go at all. I wonder that it's, I don't think it's heat shrink, but oh, they're at the end. Okay, come on out then, wires. There we go. If I straighten it in my hand, they'll come through. So I'll put that like that, push those through, and push the sheathing through a bit, and just try and force it into position here. There's no moving parts on this end, so and there's nothing behind on this end either. Not really, because it's all sectioned off. So then this thing here, I don't believe there's a left and a right or anything like that on it. So if I unscrew this and this, the wires should just snap in, and then I can screw the board down. Not snap in, push in, and be fixed in position. So that board does look pretty crusty. If the board doesn't work, the board is just a timer module. If it doesn't work, all I need to do is unscrew the wires here, put a strip connector on here, and run them through hot. And that would also work just fine. Now, where did that go? Like this. Just slots in. It has a slot. And this guy has two mounting posts that for some reason are broken. Not cool. Well, they're gone now. So it'll have to just hide out like that. And I don't know if I'll bother putting that on yet in case there's an issue. So it should just be a matter of trying it. It won't work without the cover on because it won't blow out the back properly until the cover is on. But power. So I had a cable prepared. Let's bring it in through the rear. So I'll fit that to the center live. I'll put the jumper across center to switched live. In fact, I'll just leave it bare, which is a bit risky, but I'll see if the timer works. I think I could test it that way. So plug it in. So now it's live. Oh, it did a jump there. Right, and let's see if we can... That's pretty good. Even without the cowling on the front, it's blowing out the back. Now I've taken that off. I'll try adjusting this down. I don't know what I'm adjusting here, but it does seem to work then. It's got the timer on it, it's working fine, so I'll... what way will I wire it? I might just leave the wires off for now. Or something could be blown and it might stay running forever. So I'll leave it for a few minutes just to see what happens. It could take up to 15 minutes, I guess, or 30. It might start at 15 and run to 30. I'll come back. So it's just finished spinning. It just wound itself down there very happily. It went on for maybe 10 minutes at that, so that's great. I'll get the rest of it back together now. We get the cover on. We'll disconnect it. Disconnect it from the supply first, I guess. I'll take that cable off it and just leave it off for now, because I don't really want to leave it live. I'll just put it on the shelf for spares. I'll write a note on it saying that it's cleaned and tested and the date. So that can sit out there. That's a little strip connector. Then this cover plate goes on. Oh right, it has some notes on it there. Might be handy. Looks a bit bent actually. Let's try and bend it back correctly. The screws don't really want to sit right. Now, which way was it? I think the shorter ones go here. I would have thought that would have sat down into it a bit more, but it doesn't seem to. That plastic. I just don't remember. So I was turning it the wrong way actually. If I turn it back to here, it should be 1 minute after. It goes up to 1, 10, 15, 20, 30, so it must be a logarithmic scale potentiometer. Line this up, pop it back on. It has those plugs, they're a bit grotty, I don't know if I really want them. Drop the screws back in, and that's it. I think we've got a good little fan out of a dustbin. That side's done, and I put the screw in already. Yeah, that's pretty good. So what did I spend? It took longer because I was making a video. If I was just doing it myself, I'd kind of climb over stuff a bit more and hammer on. I'll put these in position, but I don't really like them. They're a bit grotty, as I said. Put them in position, but not fully home. That one's just going in by itself. Yeah, they're a bit grim, but the machine itself is good. There's a little drain vent down the bottom. Right, Manrose model CF200T. Discrete unit, but much bigger than the ones that go straight through. So I don't know if this is a more powerful unit. It doesn't have a wattage spec on it, so it might be a more powerful one. I hadn't thought of that actually. Yeah, because most of them are just pass through or straight through. The motor's mounted in the middle. This may or may not give more, but it's useful in that it has the shutter on the back as well. That's quite good. Stops cold air coming into the house. That's pretty good. Excellent, Manrose. Yeah, what did I spend? Maybe half an hour cleaning it and putting it back together. If it wasn't so grotty, it'd be a bit faster, I guess. I'm pleased with that. That's excellent. Questions or comments, leave them below. Check out my other videos on how to get fans going where the motor has seized and won't run. Thanks for watching. See you later.